Welcome back to the shop. This is the Christmas Special 2024. If this is the first time catching my channel, typically we do like full motor rebuilds, diagnostics, suspension, stuff like that. But you know, these holiday specials are a little bit different, and we're just going to hang out in the shop, talk a little bit. But while I'm doing that, I have some new reed pedals I need to put on my 2021 YZ125 here. And we're going to be talking about some of the things of the channel, how the channel's gone in the past year, and how business has been, and stuff like that. So look and see if I have the reed pedals right here. This is it. This is the toolbox I take to the track with me. I got levers in it, clutch strings. I always carry some spare reed pedals. You never know when you're gonna snap one. I mean, you hope that don't happen, and that's why I'm changing them out right now. I try to do about every 50 hours for these V-Force reeds, because I've noticed if they're gonna break, it typically happens after 50 hours. They seem to always make it to at least 50 hours, so I just change them out at 50 hours. And I believe the current set has about 49 hours on it as we speak. So I might as well go ahead and do them now. Whew, air filter's pretty dirty. Took it out to Moto Bros. Oh, I'm sorry, MX74 on Saturday. Had a good day out there. It's fast track. A little bit of a sandier track, so the air filter definitely gets pretty dirty. As most of you guys know, this is my YZ125 21, and I absolutely love this bike. You know, in life, there's certain bikes that come through your life that you really just like, and this is that bike for me. This is one of them. I don't know if I have any complaints about this bike. Honestly, it's really reliable. I mean, it's a 125, so you have to maintain them a little more often than you would the bigger bikes. You know, I change the piston out at least every 20 hours, and a little bit more maintenance, but it's reliable. Every time I take it out, I know it's going to get me through the day, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun on it. I'm gonna start it up towards the end of the video after we do the reeds, but I'll let you guys check it out. This thing runs so clean and crisp. I just really enjoy riding this bike. My brother has the newer model YZ125, and we did a comparison. We even did a video on it, back-to-back comparison on the two, and this thing holds up well to the new bike, and I kind of still prefer this one. There are some things that the newer one has that this one doesn't, but there's things that this one has that the newer one doesn't, and really they're both really good competitive bikes. Plus, this bike's kind of been a star on my channel since I brought it home. And I took you guys along as I dialed it all in, changing one part at a time, putting the reeds on it, trying out the V-Force 3 versus the 4R, doing the head modifications, the polishing of the exhaust port, the pro circuit pipe. I did all these things one at a time, and I would take it out and do a video on it. So I have a little bit of emotional connection to the bike as well. And she's just a great bike. She has probably, I think she's pushing 130. Well, let me take a look real quick. Check that out. 140 hours right on. And that's 140 hours all original bottom end. I have replated the cylinder one time at about 75 hours, I think it was, 70 or 75 hours, but the bottom end's completely original. Never had to go down there yet. And I gotta tell you, I give this bike no mercy when I ride it. It's only 125, so you gotta wring its neck, and boy do I wring its neck. Hold it on the top, bouncing off the rev limiter in the air. I give this bike no mercy when I ride it, because most of my life I've been on 250, 2-strokes, and 450, so I'm not new to power, and this is only a 125, so I'm using it for everything it has, lap after lap after lap, and it just keeps doing it. It's just a good bike. Now, starting to show its age a little bit. The clutch basket is just starting to get a little bit of groove into it, so I'm going to start looking into a clutch basket for it, and probably some new clutch plates. Get that up there, all right. And the transmission, I've slip shifts in this thing so quick since the day I bought it, and it's starting to show a little bit of age. It started catching some false neutral, so I did the shift detent mod on this bike, and that cleaned that right up. It's going to buy me some time. Yeah, I know the right fix would be going in there and replacing all the gears that are slightly worn out, the dogs and stuff. But the shift mod has made it where I haven't missed a shift since. I'm just going to run it like that for now, because if I'm going to go in the bottom end, I would like to knock out 2 birds in 1 stone, which would be freshen up the transmission and put the new crankshaft, crank bearings, and all that stuff in there. But since the crank is in great shape still, and the crank bearings are in great shape, I don't want to go in the bottom end yet. So I'm kind of trying to hold that off as long as I can. And the shift detent mod is definitely doing the trick on this bike. As you guys watch my videos know, I do that on every YZ250 that comes through my hands. It's a really good modification for them. You usually don't need it on the 125, but if you start catching some false neutrals, you can do it to this bike. The process is a little bit different than it is on the YZ125 to do it on this bike, but you can do that to this bike, and it will definitely buy you time in the transmission. Now that I kind of know that, I think my next 125, I'm just going to do that mod right away the day I bring it home, because I do think it is healthier for the transmission, honestly. It shifts quicker, less likely to catch false neutrals, and I do think doing that modification, that's the benefit. Your transmission will last longer. The downside is it's harder to find neutral. You know, the real neutral. You're more likely to skip right past it, go from first to second, and then down from second to first, and then finally sometimes you just shut the bike off, and that's what it takes to get neutral. That is the downside, but that's okay. As long as I'm not catching a false neutral when I'm on the track, that's the thing that I'm most worried about. Alright, let's see here. We gotta get that carburetor off there to get them reeds out. Kind of debating if I just want to remove the whole carburetor or just pull it back here, like I would at the track if I was just swapping out reeds real quick to do a reed comparison. You know, I think I'm gonna just remove the whole carburetor for this. So let me disconnect the... Oh boy, she was on her tight. Loosen up the throttle cable here. And then remove these Phillips so I can pull the slide out. Alright, the YouTube channel, this year it has had significant growth. I was gaining somewhere about 6 months ago, I was gaining like 500 subscribers a month. It was crazy. It's slowed down since then a little bit. I'm down to about 300 now, but that's okay. And maybe I already got all you guys, I don't know. But yeah, it's a lot of growth. I'm currently getting about 1,500 views a day on average with all my videos, which is pretty cool. I gotta get this slide out here. Alright, let me just move. I want to figure out where I want to put this to get it out of my way a little bit. Oh, look at this. I'm starting to show a little bit of throttle slide wear right here. Yeah, 130 hours. I'm going to say pretty hard hours too. Well taken care of, but hard hours. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I was at Okeechobee Motocross 2 weeks ago. I ran into a nice guy named Bob. He recognized my voice. He came to me and he told me that he rebuilt his KTM 250 SXF, the top end, by following one of my videos. Said he's never done it before. He just followed the video and it got him right through it. I was like, that's too cool. I'm just going to pull the whole carburetor out of here. It's going to make a mess, but we'll clean it up before we put it back in. Alright, where am I going to put this thing? I just want it out of my way for now. Let me see. Let's see if I can just tuck it there. Yeah, that'll work. Pull this off. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Bill rebuilt that whole top end watching the video. He gave me a little tip, and that was nice. I appreciate it. You didn't have to. Actually, I don't need the deep well. I need the standard socket. Alright. Hold yours. Actually, I'll pause it while I'm making all of this noise. There we go. Alright. Yeah, Beavis is out there making a ton of noise. He's still kicking pretty good. He's still got that bump on his head. The vet said it was like an ingrown feather and gave him some antibiotics. It never really healed. We don't know what it is, but he seems happy. He seems to be kicking it just fine, so let it be. That thing's almost stuck on there now. There we go. Pull off the old gasket, because I have a new one. That thing's stuck on there. There we go. This is something I always find pretty cool. When you pull the reeds out, you can see the bottom of the piston. There's a little rod bearing just went by. There's the bottom of the piston, which is looking pretty good. I don't know how many hours on this piston so far. I think it's about 10. I got it written down somewhere. Alright. The nice thing is the Yamaha on the 22 to current YZ125 now uses these same reeds. And since they use these reeds, they now sell a reed gasket that fits this. It's the same pattern as the 05 to 21, so that gasket will work for these, and it's a better gasket than the paper one that V-Force gives you. It's a reusable steel shim gasket with rubber on both sides. I'm just dipping this some gasoline to clean it off real quick before we take it apart and take the gloves off for this. But it's a better gasket than the V-Force paper gasket that, as you saw, gets stuck and stuff, and it's not reusable. That kind of sucks. Pull this out because I need that tool. Okay, so these are the new ones. Okay. It's been a while since I pulled these apart. If I remember correctly, you just pop that. I want to make sure I do this right. Yeah, you pop that in there like this. There you go, and you'll see that that kind of pops out right there. Then you have to do the other side. So you have to pull it out on this side, put it on the other side, do the same. And then you can slide that sucker right on out of there. Every time you buy a set of reed pedals from V-Force, if it needs that tool to take them apart, they do include that every time, so that's pretty cool. Wipe up the gasoline. I'm going to show you why I changed these out at 50 hours. Even though they look good and they're fully closed, and just a quick glance, you'll be like, well, they're fine. Just run them. But if you look right here, you know how it is. I always got to find something to point with. Let me see. I think at this point I'll just leave something to point with right here on the bench. But look right there. You see that wear right here? See how this is nice and smooth? And then when you get to here, you see the wear. You'll notice on the new reed pedals, you don't see that. It's only on the old ones. It's just eroding. This part right here where when this sits in it, where it rests and holds reed pedals, it just slowly erodes that away, and at some point these reed pedals will just break right off. The whole pedal will just break off and the motor will ingest it. And so that's why I change them out every 50 hours. Okay, we got both of them off, and if you saw the dark, this can be confusing because they don't give you this in the instructions, but there's a carbon fiber colored side and a dark side. The dark side is the side that faces outward or towards the inside of the motor, and the carbon fiber side will face towards the carburetor side of the reed pedals. That's how they come brand new, so that's why I know that that's how they go, but they don't give you that instruction anywhere, unfortunately. All right, now we have the inner pedals here to pop out. It's nice to have a really small flathead for this. You got it. What I'm doing is I'm trying to slide this little thing right out of there. Sometimes they can be difficult to get started coming out. I usually have a different flathead for this. Let me see. I can't find it right now, but I have one that typically does perfect on these, and I'm just not finding it today. Shoot. Let me see. There we go. I just stuck this pick in there. Let me see if it'll work like that on the other side. Let's see. Yep, there they go. Coming out. Got it far enough where I should be able to grab some needle nose pliers and just yank it out. Yeah. Alright, and pop them pedals in. Check these out. Let's see how these have been wearing. Come on out of there. These usually don't get the same amount of wear that the outer set do. You can see they're not nearly as worn down here. Of course, the other side shows no wear at all. Oh, but look at that. We got one frayed pedal right here on the tip. Would I be lying to you? No, I wouldn't be. If I suspected that on my last ride. I was like, I better get to these. I don't know. it's just something that kind of hit me. I noticed a little flutter here or there, and just, I don't know. I knew I was getting close to 50 hours, but something told me I better get in there. And of course, here we are at 49 hours, and yeah, that tip was just coming apart right there. Just starting to fray apart. So like I said, guys, 50 hours. Don't run these V-Force reed pedals more than 50 hours. Okay, I get it. Some people just really put their bikes trail ride, and you know, you've gotten 150 hours, but look how thin they get out of your pedals. That I get it. That does happen. I'm talking about mainly for the guys that are really working them hard, track riders, that kind of stuff. 50 hours. I mean, look at that. You can see it chipped away right there, and it was eroding pretty deep right here. So these reed pedals at some point were just going to snap. Let's see if I can get it snapped. Nope. But out with the old and with the new. Well, let me get rid of these too before I get them mixed up with the new ones. Okay, I just blew this off. I mean, it still looks kind of shiny and oily, but it's blown off. Okay, so the black side goes towards the motor. Carbon fiber side goes towards the carburetor. Oh, yeah, there we go. Alright. And you gotta slide these things in. Think phone. Alright, let's try this again. I use a flathead to kind of hold them in their little seats. It's going to be hard to see in the camera right here, but when you go to do your own, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, got that side. And these little cutouts right here fall into these little pieces right here and there. So I'm using a flathead to make sure they stay in there as I go to slide that little thing in there. But let's do it to this side now. Stick the flathead in there, press the reed pedals up into them little tabs. These V-Force reeds, the V-Force 4, perform really good on this bike. I'm sure you guys seen my video where I've compared them to the stock. I compared them to V-Force 3 and the rad valve, and these were definitely my favorite out of all of them. And that's why they're on the bike today. That. And let me clean this up real quick. Alright. It has this little part right here. Matches right there. So that's how I know which way to put these back on. Oh, and them just slid right off there. They do that. See if I can get them to stay this time as I slide it on. Make sure I have it on the right way. Yeah. Almost need like a second set of hands to do this. But don't worry, it won't go on if you don't have it on right. There we go. Let's see. Seems to be working. Now, you know, you're going to hear a lot of people say, well, I know my reeds are good, or I know they're not good because I can see light through them. Let me shut off my forehead light and show you here. You see, I can see a little bit of light through these. See it there? Does that mean they're bad? In my opinion, nope. These things open and close at such a rapid rate. Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to see the lips pretty much touching for the most part, you know, but you might see a little bit of light peeking through them, but don't worry about that. They open and close at such a rapid rate, and when they close, they're being closed with force of a pressure coming back at them, boom, causing the force shut. They're going to seal when it's time to seal, and they're going to open when it's time to open. I believe V-Force even covers that in their literature, talking about if you see a little bit of light, you know, don't worry about it. They'll, you know, obviously they'll tell you something like it's going to break in and go away, whatever. I don't know. It might not ever go away, but that's okay. It's going to run good. Don't worry. I will say it is like V-Force says, though, that the light does seem to come in on the edges, not so much the tip. And I think that's because they're kind of setting these things up with pressure pushing on the tip here, so the tips fully seat. But even if your tips don't fully seat, don't worry. I've ridden some great running bikes, and you pull them out and the reeds are not even touching on the ends, but boy, that bike runs good, you know. So just keep that in mind. If they're new reed pedals and it looks like it's sitting pretty tight for the most part. You're going to be okay. I don't want to lose that sticker. That sticker's getting a little, look at that, it's getting a little gooey there. I'm gonna pull that off and re-glue it. But not right now. I'm going to get back on the bike and I'll worry about that later. Check this out. There's the part number right there. If you want to get away from, if you have a 05 to 21 YZ125 and you're using V-Force reeds and you want to get away from the crappy paper gaskets, it's a steel shim. You can see this you can see it reflecting a little bit. There you go. Steel shim gasket with rubber on both sides. It's reusable, so, and it doesn't get stuck like you can see right here. You get all this paper gasket crap stuck on everything. Clean all this junk up and we'll get these reeds back on the bike. Alright, time to set these beautiful things back on. If this video by any chance has like sparked your interest in reeds for any reason, I have a review for every reed pedal available for the YZ125. Just check all my videos, you'll find them in there. And I have one for the YZ250, rad valve, V-Force, 4X, 3s, 4Rs, stock reeds, you name it. I've done them all. And these have been my preferred. These for the YZ125 is the 4R, and for the YZ250 two-stroke, I've been preferring them 4Xs with the spacer. Alright, let me get these on. This is the part where I get OCD. I don't have these bolted all the way tight yet. You can see all that movement right there. Can you see right in here? Plus the reeds themselves, the block moves on the cylinder. So I try to center out the reed block on the cylinder, and I try to center out this reed boot right here so that the port is pretty seamless as the air enters. I don't think it gets much better than that. I have it centered out really good, so that's nice. Time to put the carburetor back on. I cleaned everything up. You know how I am. I get OCD with these freaking hoses here. They all got to go in here a certain way and look pretty and everything like that. Let's see. Need this thing to stay out of my way for the time being. Oh, going on the wrong way. Here we go. Yeah, business has been good this year. I've gained some new customers, and that's always good. And even with the old customers, just really good business this year. So no complaints there. Like I said, channel growth has been good. Nice thing about owning a 125 is a lot of these kids, when I work on their bikes and they're on 85s, I mean, I can ride with them on the track and stuff, but when they finally move up to a 125, it's pretty cool because I can take my 125 out there, ride with them, and compete with them a little bit on a practice day, play ride against each other or whatever, and it's a good time. I did that last weekend with Miguel over at 74. He just moved up to a 125. He has a YZ125 now, and this hose is all twisted up. Let me see if I can get that right. Yeah, we did a lot of hot laps together. You know, now I'm 48 years old, right? But I can ride a 125 pretty good. But at my age, you kind of, these kids are going to get faster than you at some point. It's just how it is. And you just have to know that that's coming. The nice thing is, when they finally do get fast enough to beat me, well, I make them earn it. But when they finally do get fast enough to beat me, it's almost kind of like an honor, because they worked really hard to get to that speed. They're like, I want to beat my mechanic one day, you know, and they finally get fast enough to beat me, and I hand it to them when they get it. I remember when I was younger, this thing is just going in all wrong. Oh, you know what? I'm doing this all wrong. Crap. That hose doesn't go through that loop. I'm sitting here talking but yeah, I remember when I was younger, and I had a lot of vet friends that rode, and a lot of them would get butt hurt when I finally got fast enough to beat them. They were my best bud before then, treat me real good. All of a sudden, when I'm finally fast enough to beat them, they kind of started getting a little snotty towards me. Like, you could tell, like they weren't too thrilled about it, and I don't want to be that guy now that I'm getting older. You know, the younger people are just going to get faster than you. It's just how it is. Plus, you know, if you're an older guy like I am, you know, we can always go faster. I always have more in the tank. The thing is, I know the price to pay when you do push at that level. I know how the crashes feel because I've had them. And we just don't take them chances as much. You know, the younger guys that can crash out, pick up the bike and just keep going. Us older guys, we might call it the day if we crash out that hard, you know. It's just, so we ride more on our abilities, but we also have a lot more years of experience. So we don't have to hang it out as much to go fast because we have that experience on our side. Okay, dang it. I got all them hoses in there right. Yeah, my nephew, my brother's kid, Caleb, he's getting fast. I'm expecting him to beat me at some point. And if he doesn't, there's something wrong. So he needs to pick it up a little bit more. V-Boy, he's getting quicker too. All the kids, they're just getting quicker. That's just how it goes. Oh, gotta get the slide in there. Let's see if I can guide the needle in here. There we go. We're going to start this thing up in a few minutes. Test out how these reeds did. Oh, I want to say thanks to everyone that has donated to the channel this past year, or whenever actually, but in this past year I've had quite a few donations through the PayPal, the race field, and I appreciate all you guys. It definitely helps out. As you know, this can be time consuming making these videos. I do get paid by YouTube. They are monetized, but it's not a whole lot, you know, and it all helps out. As you know, it can be time consuming and it does slow down a job. Like when I make a video, do a top end, it can make the job twice as long, plus the editing and stuff like that. So I really do appreciate it. It helps out. It makes it all worth it. And not only that makes it worth it, but just hearing from you guys, the guys that follow the videos to get to the jobs, or the guys that just watch it for entertainment, the guys that have learned something, all you guys out there. When I read the comments, I don't read them lightheartedly. You know, it means something to me, and I appreciate it. And I love hearing that you guys, that it's been informative for you, or you learned something. All right, let me get where'd my 8mm wrench go? Because as you know, this ain't the biggest shop with the fanciest tools, and I don't have the best presentation, no, you know, fancy music playing with nice intros, none of that stuff. I'm just a one-man band trying to keep it as simple and as easy as I can. All right, I think I can tighten up that clamp now. Yep. Basically, it's low budget productions around here. But, you know, I've come from a humble background in motocross, too, so it's kind of, you know, it's where I cut my teeth. Tighten this up. Well, I am looking forward to getting one of these newer ones. One of these days. I can get one right now, honestly, if I want to. It's not a money thing. I'm still enjoying this 21. And I already have enough experience with the new one that I can help my customers with them to get them dialed in. Jetting, head work, getting them modified, everything like that. Thanks to my brother's bike, Braden's bike, and a few others I've had around, I've already gotten to the bottom of the 22 to current model. So I don't really need one for myself to get it all figured out. I already got it all figured out. So I'm just going to continue enjoying this 21 for right now because, man, she's just a good bike. I love her. I'm enjoying her. And once this one's done, I mean, you know, they don't make them anymore. So when I'm done with this one, I guess I'll be done with these altogether. My wife still has hers over there. She has 300 and going on 360 hours on that one. Original crankshaft. We have replated the cylinder, but still original bottom end, all original. Now, she doesn't ride it that hard. But I ride the wheels off this thing, and with the 140 hours on the clock, crankshaft still measures out good, still in good shape. Alright, we gotta slide that subframe air boot all back on the reeds there. And the thing with this, doing this for a living for me and riding also on the weekends, is most of my customers become my friends and I meet some really good people. This year I'd like to give a special thanks to Ryan for coming over and fixing my roof after the storm. I had a couple shingles get blown up and off, and he came and replaced them for free. And then shoot. Let me loosen this up a little bit. Hold on. And Jordan, right before the storm, he called me up, asked me what I was up to, told him I was putting shutters on the house. He told me to let him know if I need some help. I said, well, I do. He came right over, and man, we knocked that out so quick. And you know, I'm a great mechanic, but I'm not the best handyman when it comes to drilling and concrete and stuff like that. It's just not really my thing. It's not what I do. But that's what he does. He does air conditioning for a living, and he knows what he's doing there. So he came over, we knocked that out real quick. So thanks, guys. But the point I'm getting at is the people that I work on their bikes and I ride with, you guys become like family after a while, and I appreciate that. You know, it brings some color to life. Let's see, get these cleaned up, pull them out. Just blow out all the old Loctite thread locker in there. There we go. All right, let's slide that subframe down. Okay, I tightened up both them clamps. Now let me go ahead and put some thread locker on the lower subframe bolts there and replace them. And put my shorty silencer on it. But guys, I appreciate you guys that watch these videos. I really do. I understand there's a lot of people. I see them out there trying to make YouTube channels to get them up and going, and they're just not successful at it, or it doesn't go anywhere, and they just give up. And the fact that mine's gotten on its wheels and is rolling and moving forward, it's thanks to you guys. I really appreciate this. I wouldn't be doing this if you weren't watching them. So I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you guys. See, I put a little bit of thread locker on that too. Don't want to lose my silencer while I'm out riding. That would suck. It's happened before, years ago. I try not to let that kind of stuff happen anymore. There we go. And where's my cover? Here it is. Number plate, whatever. We're going to start her up in just a second. Now stuff like number plates and stuff, I don't worry about using thread locker on that. If I lose this bolt, oh well. I usually don't, but you know. I'll make it. If the number plate goes flying off, it'll be okay. Alright, let's put some fuel in her and start her up. That should be good enough. I'm not running her very long. Just going to warm her up a little bit and make sure the reeds did good. Alright, start her up. Now normally I pause the video while I'm warming up a bike, but in this video I'm not going to pause it. I want to show you guys something here. Hopefully she stays idling. Nope, I'll start her back up. I want to show you that I see a lot of guys at the track, and they're when they start their bikes up cold, they always have to clean them out a lot and stuff. This bike was ice cold. Look at that. Clean as can be. If I get the idle. set it so low that hardly idle sometimes. There you go. But this bike runs clean right from get-go. I don't have to sit there and go, "Wah!" and fill the whole track up with smoke in the pits and stuff while I'm warming my bike up. That's because it's jetted in properly with a good tune, a good head profile. Just a good combination. By the way, I'm running 25/1. See if she'll idle for us for a second. There you go. Motor sounds good and tight. I got it set it where it was just barely idle, but you got to set it down gently. There we go. So I just want to show you guys, you set your bike up really good and you get it right, you don't have to clean it out all the time. And I'm running 25/1. That's 5 ounces of oil per gallon of gasoline. And look how clean it runs. You know most of you guys, you let your bike idle like that, when you go to first hit the gas, you're like, ah! Try to get the idle again. Nope. If I set it down gently, it'll idle. There you go. I will say, once it's fully warm on the track, then it idles every time. But when it's cold, I have the idle set really, really low. I'm just going to let it idle for a second here. Okay. Show you this again. Watch this. Die. There it is, died. All right, so I just wanted to show you that. Sometimes people don't believe me. You know, they think you always have to have you always have to clean out your two-stroke. That's just how they are. I see people with these bikes that they paid a ton of money for the motor to be modified by such and such, and then they throw on a let's say one of the smart carbs, and they just think they have it perfect. And you know, I'm not dogging them. I'm kind of a stickler, not stickler, what's the word? I'm a snob when it comes to this. I'm sorry. But I see them at the track and they start their bikes up and they got to sit there, the dad, he's warming up for the kid or whatever, and they're just really working hard to clean that thing out. And to them, that's just normal. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be normal. If you jet the carburetor in right, you got a good engine combination, good head profile, good pipe silencer, just a good combination, jetted in right with good reeds, they'll just run clean. They'll hardly ever load up. I mean, yeah, this bike can load up from time to time, but I really have to be like putting in a trail for like 15-20 minutes, like literally putting, and then I might have to clean it out. But otherwise, it just kind of stays clean on its own, even from ice cold. Just start it up and it's clean and ready to go right away. And that's running 25/1 or 5 ounces of oil per gallon of gasoline. I think I'm gonna pull that little sticker off right there and re-glue it on. I don't want to lose it. Look at it. It's just sliding around. I don't want to lose it. It looks cool. But this is what I'm gonna get to enjoy today. This evening when I go out to eat with the father-in-law, go meet him at Wings and Things for some wings. And then tomorrow I go to my brother's house, meet my mom, my brother, and nephew, and all the family over there, and that kind of stuff. That's what I get to enjoy my days off. There's Beavis doing his thing. Look at his head. He's got that weird bump on the side, but he's still kicking. He's got his There he goes. He's got his chicks back there. Of course, Leo, he's over here. He's sleeping. I just woke him up. As you know, as Christmas comes, as a motorcycle mechanic, a lot of people want their bikes up and running by Christmas. Either they have a bike, but now they're buying their son a bike. Their bike's been sitting for a long time. It's not running, but they're buying their son a new bike, so they want to be able to ride with their son. So they're bringing me their bike to get it up and running for Christmas. Or they bought a bike not running, and they want to get it running to give it away as a Christmas present to their son or their daughter or whatever. Then you just have people that just want to ride on Christmas out of nowhere. So I've been busy knocking it out, but you know, I was able to get it done today. Today is the 23rd. I was able to get all the bikes that I needed to have done before Christmas. And we're going on 346. I even had enough time to throw these reeds in this bike and make this video. I was going to do it tomorrow morning for you guys, but I got everything done a little bit early, so I thought I'd knock it out today. And upcoming videos. You know, I hate changing tires. I really do. But I often get requested to do a video on changing tires. Now, there's guys out there that can change a tire in like 30 seconds. These guys are that's not me. But I do have a good method that doesn't pinch tubes. It works for me. So I do plan on making a video of that. As you can see, we got a ton of tires in here. We got some used ones, some new ones. I have some rims here that are my hard pack setup. But I have a video coming on changing tires in about a week or two. Stay tuned for that. And this is our Christmas tree. Right next to the big old school tower speakers. We have our fireplace right there. It's a little dirty right now. We've been using it. And there's my TV where I watch all the YouTube videos. Hope you guys all have a great Christmas and get some good riding in this weekend. Appreciate you for watching this. And I'll catch you in the next video.